Hello and welcome to the 1990 series. My name is Amanda O'Shea, the Loving Life Coach from the Serendipity Experience. And I have with me today a dear friend, Karen Marshall, from the West End in Glasgow, but living in both places actually. Half her time in Glasgow and half her time here in Javier in Spain. Welcome, Karen.
Thank you, Amanda. Lovely to see you.
Oh, you too. I'm really, really glad that you agreed to be part of this 1990 series.
I'm really honoured to be invited.
Yeah, well, you see, you made it into the top 90. So that, Karen, the reason that I really wanted you to be here was ever since I arrived in Spain with two young children 13 and a half years ago, you've been there from the beginning of that journey and of you've seen us go through all sorts of different trials and tribulations, and
Absolutely.
you were there. You were the mum at the school on Alice's first day at school, Spanish school, and I remember you being this mum that could speak Spanish. I was really impressed. And you lived there for many years before me. How long have you lived in Spain now?
Now over 26.
Wow. So
yeah, almost half my life. Yeah.
Wow. So, I remember that. And then you became our family dentist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you became a friend, really, we got to know you via the children, really via Alice and Aidan being
Alice and Aidan, yeah.
Class at school. And then I got to know you socially. And then you became a client. You were such a valued client. You were very, very loyal, and you were, we had lots of hours and hours of you being on the massage table.
Yeah. Keeping my back good for work.
And exchanging lots of stories and lots of things throughout the years. But you were also there, and I remember I was having lots of conversations when I came across what I call the inside out understanding, or the three principles, and you kind of saw me go down that natural crossover that happened from sort of holistic therapist to coaching to all along the way. You've been there. You've been there. You were also the lady who was the first one to the rescue when the house fire, which is only 2.5 years ago or so.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And you took us in, myself, the dogs.
The dogs.
and a visiting guest I had, who
just arrived that afternoon, and your house is up in flames.
Yeah, and it's really nice. Jane Cockrell, her name is, and the lovely Jane was part of the 1990 series as well. And you've been there from the time where I got the gig on the radio to the time I at the treatment centre or the recovery centre, and you've just always been there.
In the background.
But I really appreciate you, and I really want to give thanks to you for being such an amazing friend to me, to the family. You've helped me out on so many occasions. You've been the lady that fed my dogs when I was away for a training weekend, or picked Alice up from somewhere, or left me a little pot of soup on the windowsill, working mad hours around the clock, or left, I love that time when your husband was working away and we were both working really hard, and we had this sort of little single supper club where if I made something, I'd cook you a portion, and if you made a smoothie, you'd make me one.
Absolutely. And it worked really well, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
You need to come back here. I miss that.
Yeah, that was really nice. And but you're also, Karen, not just personally to me, and I've seen how good a friend you are to many, many people, but you are a huge part of the community here in Javier. And I guess is that mainly because of your professional business, being, for me, the best dentist in town.
Oh, thank you.
You are the enlightened dentist.
The enlightened dentist, my new title. Not the hugging dentist anymore.
You used to be the hugging dentist.
I still hug a lot.
And I love that. You know, I've never met a dentist who was so calm, so worked so beautifully, was so in touch, was so present with her clients, who really, I don't know, you work for me from a different dimension than other dentists that I know, and it actually makes people, I think, really look forward to going to the
I don't know if I'd go that far, but yeah, you've just got to be kind to people and read how they're feeling and their situation. And from a young age, I went so much to the dentist, and I know what it's like to be on the other side of the drill or the other side of whatever's happening. And so you put yourself in that position and just be kind, really. That's the main thing.
Well, you do an amazing job of that. You're one of the kindest people I know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you really are.
I had a tutor when I was training, and he was an old man then, he'll be long gone, and he said something that never ever left. Two things. He said, treat the patient, not the tooth, because as a profession you can get engrossed in what you're actually doing and forget that there's a person all around it. But the other one that I liked the most was, treat every patient like they're your favourite grandmother.
Aww.
And if you do that, you can't treat anybody not kindly, not gently. You've got to treat them gently.
Isn't that beautiful, Karen, that somebody said something years ago that is...
Oh, 30 odd years ago.
That is, you know, sometimes I don't think we realise the power of something we're sharing, because if it just comes from the heart and we mean it, it's not that he needs to get any thanks or praise back, but those wise words or those beautiful words, treat everybody like they're your favourite grandma. I love that.
That's fabulous, isn't it?
And you know, and you've taken that through, and how many teeth and how many people have you treated over your career, and with love, you know, with love. That's the difference. When that's what I see that.
Mm-hmm.
So we're very, very lucky. I feel very, very lucky to have had you, you know, in the community, in our town of Havia, in the school community, and in my circle of friends.
Oh, you're making me blush now.
Then if you blush, you might match your beautiful background and your hair.
And my hair,
and
my new red highlights.
red theme. Is this your Christmas look?
This is my Christmas look, yep.
Oh, it's lovely. You look great.
Thank you.
Karen, there was when we had a quick kind of text conversation, if you like, about you being part of this 1990 series, and sort of saying, okay, what should we call this conversation? You came up with, you are writing this story.
Yep, absolutely.
We all are. Can you tell me a bit more about how you see that to be true?
Well, to start with, it's something that just came to me maybe about a year ago. And it's after all the changes that went on in my life 6 years ago, when we decided that the family would all move back to Glasgow, and I would stay here and work, and I would commute there on a monthly basis. And having spent many years here with the children, and a husband that worked away a lot, and sometimes being a bit sort of envious of that and thinking, I'd quite like that. I'd like to go away on my own and work and not juggle being mum and doing everything in the house and with the children and working at the same time. And then recently I've thought, well, yeah, I've done that. I do that now all the time. They're not young children anymore, but I go to Scotland 2 weeks a month. I have just pure family time there. I come back to Havia 2 weeks a month on my own, and I just concentrate and work. And I thought, I've done it. I wrote that story. I changed. I would never have imagined that I would have a life like this. I would never have even wished for it in a way, because I wouldn't have thought it was achievable. Yeah. And yet I've done it. So, you know, and it's not just writing that big part of my life story, but it's all the parts. But then when I look back and I think, well, everything that I've done, going to Australia, ending up in being offered a job in Javier that I had no idea where it was the day my daughter was born, and arriving here 7 weeks later. Well, yeah, of course we all write our own stories. We look at things, we take opportunities, and a lot of times we don't even realise that we're doing it until we get to a certain point.
Yeah, and there's something about life just happening and playing out, and when we go with it, and when we kind of, when we get to see that we have got so much potential, we've got this capacity for full potential. So if something occurs to you, then it's like we've got this invisible power to kind of bring it alive.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I don't think we use our power as much as we should. I don't think that we see we've kind of got these superhuman powers, which is bringing our thoughts alive, bringing our dreams alive. Not somebody else's dream. I was talking about this the other day. But if it pops into your head, that the only thing that really gets in the way is our own thinking that, oh, we couldn't possibly do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Even in smaller capacities, even say in my work life, and I have a more difficult situation at work and I think, oh, this isn't going to pan out well. And then I stop myself and I say, you're writing this story. So you write it the way you want to, because if obviously the more negatively you approach a situation, the worse it's going to turn out. Of course it is.
Yeah. And the thing is, we all fall into positive, negative feelings.
Absolutely.
That's being human, that we kind of go up and down. But I think when you understand a little bit about how the mind works and where feelings come from, and you get to see that you don't listen to the story when you're not feeling good, right? Because it's just nonsense. That's going to be a nonsense story. It's a horror story.
Yeah.
sad story. So it's the narrative doesn't stop when we're feeling high, when we're feeling low, but but it's kind of nice to turn the volume down when we know it's full of nonsense or rubbish or blaming or blah, 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 blah. But to have that gift when we're feeling calm or feeling creative or feeling vibrant, feeling passionate, when our mojo's in flow, we can really crank up the volume.
We certainly can. Yeah, for sure.
And it is that something, the way you sort of said, you caught that, you caught that kind of. So I think that people have really great ideas,
but they don't. A lot of times people don't allow themselves to act on them. There's so many people could be doing so much more, but they restrict themselves.
Exactly, you're so right. They restrict themselves with limited thinking that have come from belief systems and conditioning, if you like, of you can't do that, or oh, you can't be seen to do that, or I mean, especially I know you've got that Celtic kind of background like myself, and you see the older generation who raised us with big thoughts and of what's wrong and what's right, and what you can do and what you can't do, and what they'd be happy for the neighbours to see them doing and not doing.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So we were born into that. We weren't born into you can do what you want and you've got full potential. We were born into, oh, you have to sort of do, stay within the kind of the guidelines.
Certain, yeah. What's right and what's wrong, yeah. But what a limited way to live your life, always worrying what everybody else is thinking, or the neighbours, or.
Yeah, and that's innocently been a lot of people to date, and a lot of because that's what you are, and what will other people think. In fact, I talk a lot about that. I talk up a lot sometimes, like in my workshops and stuff, about those three kind of layers of who we are. So I talk about who we truly are at our core essence, in our truth, who we are inside, who we think we are, and and who we want the world to think we are.
Right. Okay.
And I see that when we're writing our story of, or like how you would say it, you know, writing your own story. A lot of what we do is wanting the world to think we're something, or we're someone, or that we're not someone, you know.
Depending.
Yeah. So, you know, we spend a lot of time. I catch myself. Sometimes I catch myself like, okay, why am I doing that? Oh, because I want to be seen to be this or that or the other. It's not, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's what we do.
What we're doing, yeah.
So that question, if somebody's like, oh, I'd love to do that, and you say, well, why don't you then? Well, I couldn't, could I? What would so and so say? Or what would so and so?
Absolutely,
But
definitely.
you've always been a little rebel without a cause, and you've always been the one that wasn't scared to be different.
I don't know about that, but I think I've known when something's right, and I've also known that it's all too short, and we've just got to have a bit more fun, you know? Red hair. So what? Just go out and have fun.
I see that in you. I see that you're so creative, you know, and going, I don't know, things that when I've heard your stories about things you would have made or things you would have worn or things you would have, you know, it really feels like you're a woman who just really is, yeah, doing what feels right for you. I love that. And you're not so concerned of what people think or what, you know, and that's, there's freedom.
We all are, though. I have to hold my hands up. Of course, we all do think about what other people, how they see us. But to a point, you know, you can't let it take you over. You have to be. We live in a society that does judge everybody, unfortunately. So, and if you're, especially like here in a professional situation, you have to fit into certain ways. So, like, you know, I wouldn't wear the punky things that I might have liked to have worn throughout my life. I wouldn't shave one side of my head that I might have done. So I still do restrict myself.
Yeah.
But that's probably a good thing, because I might go too wild.
But isn't that interesting that we fell into the right way to dress for the office, which actually was really, really kind of uncomfortable, you know, really kind of uncomfortable. Women in really high heels and not, you know, or the right way to, as if it, like, to impress people. And I'm not saying people need to change how they do it. It's just interesting that we fell into this kind of like small children having to wear ties and buttons and
No.
like where did these rules kind of, you know, they're man-made rules that made sense to somebody at the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Made sense to somebody. And so you always get people that kind of break the mold, right? You know?
Well, the world would be a very boring place if everybody just fitted in, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, you know, I love that. I love seeing people that are really happy to be themselves, comfortable in their own skin, and play around with this freedom that we have, which is to, yeah, bring alive the thoughts. That's all that's happening anyway. We're bringing alive the thoughts that have popped into our head. So thank you for just everything that you do.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for being here, being you, and I wish you a Merry, Merry Christmas, Karen.
Thank you. And thank you, Amanda, because, you know, a lot of my journey, you've been a big part of it as well.
Great. Well, it's been nice to journey together.
Definitely.
Into the mystery, is it? Into the mystery we are born, in the mystery we live, and the mystery we will pass on. And that, you know, we can just enjoy this mystery, enjoy the unknown, enjoy the I don't know,
what comes next.
Yeah, you know, just enjoy the moment, enjoy it all, and yeah, I love that. We've journeyed well. We'll keep going, hey?
Definitely. That's a for sure. Absolutely.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome, Amanda. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you. May you write many a good story. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Love for everybody. Bye.
You too. Bye.